Ava was a young, beautiful girl who was raised by her mother, Lily, after her father abandoned them when she was just a child. Ava had always struggled with feelings of abandonment and worthlessness, but she had learned to put on a brave face and make the best of her situation. Despite the hardships she faced, Ava grew up to be a successful and independent young woman. She met the love of her life, Michael, and they became engaged to be married. On her wedding day, Ava was filled with a mixture of excitement and nerves. She had always dreamed of getting married, but part of her still felt like something was missing. As she was getting ready for the ceremony, Ava's stepfather, Jack, offered to walk her down the aisle. Ava was grateful for the gesture, but a small part of her was still searching for closure with her biological father. Just as the ceremony was about to begin, the doors to the chapel burst open, and Ava's father appeared. He walked down the aisle, interrupting the ceremony, and approached Ava. She was shocked to see him after so many years and could barely form words as he approached. "Ava, I know I've been absent for most of your life, but I had to come today," her father said, his voice filled with emotion. "I've always loved you, and I'm so proud of the woman you've become." Ava's heart was pounding in her chest as her father asked if he could walk her down the aisle. She was torn between wanting to reconnect with her father and not wanting to hurt her stepfather, who had been a constant source of love and support in her life. Just as Ava was about to make a decision, a shocking revelation was made. Ava's father pulled out a piece of paper and revealed that he was not her biological father. He had adopted her as a baby, but her real father was still out there somewhere. Ava was stunned. She had always known that her father had abandoned her, but she never thought that her own identity could be called into question. She felt like her entire world was crumbling around her, and she didn't know how to process the information. As the wedding guests looked on in shock, Ava's father revealed that he had been searching for her biological father for years and had finally discovered his whereabouts. He was in the chapel that very day, hiding in the back row. Ava's father led her to the back of the chapel, where a man was sitting, looking nervous and unsure. As they approached, Ava could see that the man was shaking, and when he looked up at her, she was shocked to see that she had the same blue eyes as him. The man stood up and revealed that he was indeed Ava's biological father. He explained that he had been young and scared when Ava was born, and he felt like he wasn't ready to be a father. He had left her in the care of her adoptive father, hoping that one day he would be able to make things right. Ava was torn between anger and relief. She was angry that her father had left her and caused her so much pain, but she was also relieved to finally have some closure and to know the truth about her past. As the wedding guests looked on in silence, Ava's biological father asked if he could walk her down the aisle. Ava was filled with emotions and wasn't sure what to do. She didn't want to hurt her stepfather, but at the same time, she felt like she needed to connect with her biological father. In the end, she made the difficult decision to have her biological father walk her down the aisle. The ceremony continued, but Ava was still processing the shock of the day's events. As she stood at the altar, she couldn't help but feel like her life had been a roller coaster of emotions. She had lost her father, gained a stepfather, and now she had found her biological father. It was a lot to take in, but she was determined to make the best of it. After the ceremony, Ava and her husband, Michael, held a reception to celebrate their union. Ava was surrounded by her friends and family, but she couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. She was torn between the happiness of getting married and the sadness of her complicated family situation. Despite her inner turmoil, Ava did her best to put on a brave face and enjoy her special day. She laughed, danced, and even shared a special dance with her stepfather, Jack. Despite everything that had happened, Ava was grateful for the love and support of those around her. In the weeks and months that followed the wedding, Ava worked to rebuild her relationship with her biological father. It was a slow process, but they were able to connect on a deeper level, and Ava finally felt like she had the closure she needed. Years later, Ava was sitting in her living room, surrounded by her husband and children. When she reflected on the journey that had led her to this moment, she was grateful for the love and support of those around her and for the life she had built. Despite the hardships she had faced, Ava was proud of the strong and independent woman she had become. In the end, Ava learned that life is unpredictable and full of twists and turns, but it's the love and support of those around us that make all the difference. She was grateful for the family she had, both biological and adopted, and was thankful for the life she had built. And as she sat back and smiled, Ava knew that no matter what the future held, she was ready to face it with grace and strength.